chest up, shoulders back. Revival was right. Again, as I always am. And I told you guys, and you just still won't accept it. Maybe you do now. So, you can see I was about to get in the shower. Like, I'm nude with a towel on right now, okay? But I had to put this out. So, if you haven't seen, Greg Doucette was in comment sections last night. One was on Scott Herman's video. Other ones, too, I was told. I haven't fully seen all of this, but he has admitted now that Hussein, that's his name, right? Hussein, asshat, he was taking steroids, as if we didn't already know that. And why is he doing this? I don't know, but it's all over the internet now. Jeff Nippard has put out his apology post on Instagram. Genuinely, I don't know what has spurred this to happen. I'll give you my theories in a second. But now Jeff has a big egg on his face. That's what I really don't understand here. I guess we're going to see. I initially thought that Greg would do this as a publicity thing. And this is all for publicity, no doubt, in any case. Because this is getting talked about like crazy. Then when Hassan makes his, I'm sure it's coming very soon, his I'm sorry video or I lied video. Or maybe he turns on Greg, which I'm sure they planned it behind the scenes anyway, right? He'll be like, oh, Greg Doucette's lying about me. We'll see what they come out with, and then we'll react to that too. This is the first time in a while that the fake Natty Mafia, it's really sort of disintegrating, at least on the surface. But it's interesting now that Greg is essentially detaching from it, and he's admitted the forbidden thing, which, you know, it's funny, we still have no actual proof Hassan used, right? We've never actually seen him inject anything, right? So I guess this is the proof. So I guess they could take this a step farther and say, oh, sure, Greg said so, but what's his proof? You know, I don't know how Greg so-called found out, because he obviously knew long ago. People are acting like Greg didn't obviously know, or Jeff Nippard for that matter. This shit is hilarious, dude, because to assume that neither of them knew. I think Greg was meeting with Hassan and talked to him much before Jeff did. So Greg obviously knew. If you ask me, Greg was telling him what to take as soon as they sort of collaborated the first time. He probably was coaching him through the cycles and everything. I would bet money on that. Which you're never going to really find that out, I would assume. But then Jeff's recent bullshit, the science-based gaslighting, that just complete pile of steaming shit that he put out. Well, 2 piles of steaming shit that he put out. And he's been doubling and tripling down all the time. Now he's apologizing. They make Jeff look like a total idiot with this, don't they? I saw some people like, bro, do you think Jeff actually believes them? Maybe he's just so deluded and he's just so optimistic and he's just, you know, he's scientific and he wants to give... Jeff knew. He obviously knows. Anybody experienced can look at that transformation in that time frame, and everybody knows. It is that simple. Anybody that comes online and does the benefit of the doubt card, or, oh, we don't really know, or I'm skeptical, but they're full of shit. They are not to be trusted. Like, they just expose to you that they're lying all the time. Also, like I mentioned too, where are the noble natties? Their entire identity is about, oh, natural this, natural that, self-righteous virtue signal. We need to stop these kids from watching these steroid users and getting their minds diluted. They've been radio silent about this, haven't they? Not a fucking peep from the noble natties who allegedly care so much. Why? It's obvious why. They would defend this because that's what they have to do to protect their brand. So now let's think about why would this happen? Number one, I've spoken to Anabolic Stick about this briefly. He said that they have a clothing line about to come out, so this is a publicity stunt to drive attention to that. That makes sense. As I just said, this is going to get a ton of views regardless. Even if it's a lot of negative attention, it's still attention. And keep in mind the general attention span. I mean, after a week or two, people are going to largely forget. Like, even if Hassan comes on here and says, yeah, I took stuff, I lied, whatever his, you know, character is going to be in this, people are going to, oh, I forgive you, bro, it's okay. I still look up to you. I still like your physique. That's what a lot of people are going to do. So even if they lose some of their viewers, they're going to gain them back with enough time. And a lot of people simply are not going to care. Let's be real, they're just not going to care that much. They might care and, you know, kind of cross their arms and huff and puff for like a week or two, but realistically, I don't think it's going to amount to a whole lot. So this is not going to really damage their credibility, any of them, I don't think, because they're too big to fail. Whether it's Hassan or Greg or Nippard or anybody. Like, their followings are so big, they're so deep in the algorithm, they're so connected, they're going to get so many eyeballs all the time. This current hiccup, if you want to call it that, which we haven't even seen the full extent of it too, it could become even more of a circus. Get on your unicycles, kids. But this is not going to really affect them that badly. I don't envision it all. So there's that aspect of it. They're doing this simply for publicity, which I think is the case regardless of what happens. Now, the second thing, maybe Hussein actually pissed Greg off behind the scenes, which I don't know how likely that is. I wouldn't think very. I'm sure Greg tells him to do things and he agrees because Greg is much older and he's the one that started the business. He's got way more experience in the industry and with business. So what Hussein could have possibly did to piss Greg off and make him sort of turn on him, I don't know. And I find it hard to believe, so I don't put much stake in that one. So let's say that's off the table. Because still, they're promoting the clothing line and they're still business partners. Like, if they were that in opposition, I think that would sort of fall apart. Maybe it will coming up, but I don't see that happening. So beyond that too, something that I think of is that maybe Hussein is going to go into steroid coaching. Like, he might just accept it and say, hey, my comment section is always going to be full of people calling me a fake. It's never going to end. You know, maybe him and Greg talked about it and they realized, like, look, you might as well just step into it because you can get called a fake forever. Or you could just admit to it and then say, hey, look, if you want to achieve what I achieved in that time frame, you need steroids, which is totally correct. So I can coach you through the steroids. I'm sure Greg already has the number of coaching clients, even if he doesn't admit this, that he coaches on steroids. Depending on where they live, he probably gets them the steroids himself. So I think that's a possible angle too, that they're going to just start openly talking about steroids and making more content about them because, you know, the gates have kind of opened a good amount. As much as people still lie about this subject, it's opening up more, and I think more people are getting close to reality. I mean, the masses are always going to be years behind, decades behind. The majority are never going to accept this or want to talk about it. 99% of the industry is still always going to be fakes, or at least just turn a blind eye. But maybe that's shifting a little bit. Maybe it's going to go to like 95%. Like, more and more people are going to openly discuss this. I think MPMD has been like the biggest channel in recent memory that just openly talks about PEDs and like what he's done and things like that. So I can see that angle, because think about this too. MPMD is basically off of YouTube now. He barely posts anymore. Hussein could swoop in and become basically the new MPMD. He reviews like people's cycles and he gives advice, and here's what I take, and I keep my hair, and his skin I don't think is that bad, right? So you could kind of make a lot of content out of that. And then you'll get a bunch of coaching clients too. So that is my theory. I think they're going to pivot into more steroid direct content from this. And I think that will go pretty well for them. I don't see that being a big deal, because natural lifters, as much as they claim otherwise, they love steroids. They love talking about steroids. They love reacting to people on steroids, whether it's good or bad or whatever, whether they're laughing at them or just out of curiosity. I'm natural and always will be, bro, but I like watching this content. So I think that is the most likely outcome of this entire thing. Now, they made Jeff look like a total fucking bum, more than he even did himself. That's hilarious, and well-deserved from Jeff. Because once again, if you think Jeff did not know this, you're dumb beyond comprehension. He obviously knows what's going on, and he ran cover for them. He made those 2 full videos. He got them all in person. He got the fake doctor to stand there and pretend to do their blood work. Maybe he was a real doctor, but I don't believe any blood work was ever taken. In any case, Jeff said in his recent video, I know that Hussein's physique is achievable naturally. And then this comes out. It's like, well, there you go, Jeff. Sit and spin on it, you fucking bum. So like I said, it seems to me that they paid Nippard off to do this. If they didn't pay Jeff directly to make those videos and defend this as much as he has, then he did it simply because of the blood oath, being a member of the fake Natty Mafia. Remember, Jeff Nippard is a pro so-called natural bodybuilder. Even if he got his card years ago, it's a blood oath. It's a lifelong commitment. You cannot get out of it. Jeff in the past has defended fakes too, but he's never done it to the level that he has now. Jeff, to me, like I said too, seems like he wants to start talking about his steroid use too, like he wants to just be open about it. Jeff is in a tough place now because his whole brand is natural. Even if he wants to talk about using steroids, he can't do it because so many people are going to be up in arms over it. That's the problem whenever you make your entire identity natural. Even if you're not a self-righteous natural, if that's just your entire brand, and people always look at you, oh, he's one of the elite natties, you can never get out of it. Because in their mind, you're always natural. Even if you change your mind and say, look, I just want to start taking stuff people are going to cry about it. And speaking of natural bodybuilding, I've gotten one of the more prominent so-called natural bodybuilders on the ropes on Instagram. If you recall Jeff's old video that we reacted to recently, he mentioned Alberto Nunez. This is the guy. And he's been in all kind of comment sections across Instagram defending not only Hussein, but also Julian as natural. That's what he does all the time. This guy is a natural bodybuilder himself and a coach of natural bodybuilders. Like I told you guys, their entire lives are tied to this. They have to defend it every chance they get, because any suspicion makes them all look bad. I saw him in a comment section and he was saying how, oh, well, this is normal to me and I can't believe this guy took steroids for a good natural physique, so-called good. Hussein mogs the fuck out of this guy right here. So I replied and said, explain to me how you think Michael Hearn is a fake, but nobody else is. Like, he's the only so-called natural competitor in bodybuilding or powerlifting that gets called out. And then you can see his reply here. He totally dodged. Then I said, you dodged the question, can you answer? And then he left this one here. He totally buttered me up. And then he still dodged it. And I'm like, okay, so you won't answer it. And then he's DM'd me and is like, hey, let's have a discussion. I have no interest in taking part in your gaslighting seminar. And he does this to people in the comments all the time. He gets them from being in opposition, then he slowly butters them up and is like, oh, you know, outliers exist. So that's it. And if you take nothing else from this video, like I said, the people that did not mention this or did not call it out directly, or they played the, oh, we don't really know card, let alone total silence. You guys still trust those people? You still believe those people? Do you think they're totally well-intentioned? If you do, I don't know what to tell you, because it's very obvious what was happening here from the onset. I called it out directly a month ago. Other people did too. Not many others though. It's been me and Stick and a couple other channels I've seen. That's it. The entire rest of the industry either was in support of this openly or they turned a blind eye to it. So what the fuck does that tell you? But by all means, please keep commenting about how I am too negative and I'm a pessimist and I'm too skeptical. Go ahead, keep commenting it. I get proven right every single fucking time. But please, tell me about how my messaging is too mean when I'm always right.